If you have ever watched a MotoGP race or seen a picture of a race bike, you probably saw one of these on the end of the handlebars. And if you're agonizing over the question of what it is, look no further. So what this is a brake guard. Basically, it covers a portion of the brake lever so that if you come in close contact with another bike, you don't hit your brake really hard and go over the bars. Simple as that. It just guards your brake. Initially, I thought it's just a gimmick and people just put them on their bikes to show off. I could not be more wrong. In fact, I got one for myself because I thought it looked cool. It's not only useful on the racetrack, it's also useful on the street. Because if you're going through the traffic and it's getting really narrow and you hit something like a car mirror with your front brake, you're gonna go over your handlebars. But if you have a brake guard, it's gonna hit the brake guard, you're gonna swerve left due to counter-steering effect. It's not pleasant, but you'll probably be better off than going over the handlebars and having the bike fall on top of you. I wanna tell you two brake guard stories. But before I do, I wanted to touch a couple of key points. If you've already started shopping for a brake guard, you'll notice that there are A, straight ones and angled ones, and B, some come in pairs, one for the clutch and one for the brake. So which one should you get? And trust me, you should get one. So, angled versus straight brake guards. They both serve pretty much the same function. They protect your brake from being used unless you use it. But the thing is, when you're riding on the track and you're making a right turn, you need to be able to move your hand this way and move your body inside the corner and be able to open the throttle. You need to do this motion on the throttle. And if you have a straight brake guard, it's actually blocking your hand. You end up going like this, which blocks you from going inside the corner. The angled brake guard, on the other hand, lets you use the throttle from this position. Like this. And so when you're at the lean and when you're turning right, you can actually put your hand over here and open the throttle. For that reason, I'd recommend an angled brake guard 100% of the time. Unless maybe if you just ride on the street and you don't lean as much and you don't need to have that motion. But an angled brake guard works best for me. As for the clutch guard, in my opinion, you don't really need that, because even if you hit your clutch with something, nothing dramatic is going to happen. In fact, if you look at MotoGP bikes and World Superbikes, you'll see they don't have any clutch guards. So I wouldn't waste my money on it. If you want it just to look cool, go ahead. But it's not something you absolutely need to have. So back to those stories. One is about my friend. He was racing someone very, very closely up to the finish. And as they were coming to the finish line, he got too close to the other bike and that bike hit his brakes. So he didn't have a brake guard. Now he is the only person I know who finished the race separately from his bike. He installed a brake guard immediately and never rode without it. The other story is about me. Back in 2018, I had a race in Brno, and on the very first lap, as I was coming to turn 6, which is a right-hander, I felt a really strong hit from the right. And so, because it was a right-hander and I was at the apex, I didn't expect to get a hit from the right. The bike swerved really violently to the left. I was actually getting ready to fall down, but it didn't. And I actually went to overtake the guy who hit me. When I came back to the pits, I saw that my brake guard was bent. Most of that hit was to the brake guard. And if it weren't there, my race would be over on turn 6 of lap 1. So I hope I've been helpful in explaining what these things are. I want to thank my team and my friends, the riders, for letting me film here. And also want to thank Vlad for letting me use his bike to show you this brake guard. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't, hit the thumbs up button, and I'll see you on the next video. Stay safe and keep them rubber side down.